Hi, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Kit.
Welcome to Starry Time, where stars plus lines.
Equal stories.
Microscopium, like a couple of other constellations we've covered this season, is a more modern constellation and doesn't have a Greco Roman or, to be honest, any real myths about it.
Yeah, but unlike Lynx or Camelopardalis, we're working with a microscope today.
That we are. So, in this episode, we'll talk a little bit about the history and importance of microscopes broadly, and then we'll propose our own possible myths for this constellation.
Before we get into the history and some fun facts about microscopes, just a quick reminder about the history of this constellation. It was proposed in the 18th century by Nicolas Louis de Lacaille.
For more about this, check out our cosmic background episode on Microscopium.
In ancient Chinese astronomy, the stars in the current Microscopium constellation are in the Black Tortoise of the North section, in the Ox and Emptiness mansions, and can be found within three different asterisms within these mansions: the Celestial Farmland, Nine Water Wells, and Jade Ornament on Ladies' Wear.
These are all so much better than our constellations, Kit. I mean,
hmm
I'm jealous. I can't
hmm
wait if we ever get to the point where we can really dive into ancient Chinese astronomy because we love the IAU constellations. They've been with us our whole
hmm
life, but the Emptiness Mansion, the Black Tortoise, the Celestial Farmland. That's where I want to go when I die. I need more.
Yeah, all of, I mean, like, even Emptiness is somehow more inspired than Microscopium. In looking at Gavin White's book on Babylonian star lore, I wasn't able to find a one-to-one match for what ancient Babylonians would have called this part of the night sky. It's below Capricornus, which is goatfish in ancient Babylonian star lore, and next to Sagittarius, which is known as Pabelsog. But there doesn't seem to be anything in this spot that we know as the current Microscopium constellation.
Kit, we just learned it's the Emptiness Mansion.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find any information about what other cultures called this part of the night sky, so we can move on to a very brief history of the microscope before we wax poetic.
The name microscope comes from the ancient Greek meaning micro, small,
Mm.
and to look at or inspect. Scope.
Yeah. Look at small things. Fair enough.
The first compound microscope was created in the late 1500s, with the credit originally going to the father and son Dutch glasses makers Hans Martens and Zacharias Johnson in 1590.
But this claim is certainly not without some dispute because it was made on the basis of Zacharias' son after his death, and it turns out Jansen's arch nemesis glassmaker Hans Lippershey also claimed to have invented the compound microscope. So that's basically the one with two lenses in
Kit, I'm actually having an incredible deja vu experience
it.
right now. I'm being transported back to seventh grade. The first time I really used compound microscopes and learned this fact about the dispute over the invention of it.
Yeah, and the things get really even more complicated because Johannes Zachariasen, so that's Zacharias' son, also falsely claimed that his father invented the Keplerian telescope, among like other things. Not to mention the fact that Zacharias himself was tried more than once for counterfeiting money.
What a time. Cast a little bit of doubt on the Johnson Zachariason's claim.
Yeah, one way or another, a compound microscope, one with two lenses, was invented at some point by someone between the 1590s and early 1600s.
Prior to this invention, there are other instances in history of single magnifying lenses as far back as 700 BC among the Assyrians, and of course, before the microscope was the invention of eyeglasses, which have been dated all the way back to the 13th century.
And our guy, Galileo Galilei, also developed some kind of a microscope in the 1600s, and since then we've developed an array of different kinds of microscopes.
One of the works that popularized the microscope was the 1665 publication Micrographia, with the subtitle or some physiological descriptions of minute bodies made by magnifying glasses with observations and inquiries thereupon. But this was created by Robert Hooke, and this work included drawings of observations using a compound microscope and was the first time we see in biology the coining of the word cell.
Yeah, that's an important one. And these images are really, really cool and beautiful, and you could understand why they're captivating. Subtitle notwithstanding.
Robert Hooke, brevity, not his strong suit, but coining new terms, incredible. He should have stuck to neologisms and he would have been fine.
Right. I'll be sure to post some of the drawings on our socials at Storytime Pod on the Universityn server of Mastodon for folks to check out. Because, yeah, it is really cool to check this stuff out and see these beautiful illustrations.
Imagine yourself in 1665. People agreed it was a bestseller. And some of the key findings for the microscope, thankfully, have included the discovery of cells, of course, as well as bacteria and viruses, kind of a big deal. And later, of course, the discovery of atoms using the electron microscope.
Yeah, we really should be grateful for the microscope. Lots of important discoveries, even if it's not perhaps the most compelling thing to put in the night sky. But we'll take a quick break and then we'll wax poetic and try to come up with something worthy of all of these important discoveries.
Welcome back. Waxing Poetic is a segment where we create our own myths, legends, or rationales for constellations in the night sky in hopes that we can capture your hearts, your minds, perhaps your even very souls.
Mm.
Kit, would you like to get us started for the microscope?
Okay, so despite the fact that, as previously mentioned, the microscope is very important, coming up for a reason for it to be in the night sky was very challenging. I was
Mhm.
not really inspired by Jansen, so I was like, I want to put Jansen in the night sky,
Mm-mm.
with all the drama. So I figured
Drama.
big drama. So I figured I might as well throw it back to our Greco-Roman roots. When in doubt, bring it back to Greco-Roman roots.
I may or may not have done the same.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. All right. In the times before Zeus overthrew his father, the Titans lived and thrived. There lived Coeus and Phoebe, both children of Uranus and Gaia. But don't think about that too hard.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
Anyways, Coeus was the Titan of intelligence and cosmic wisdom, and his sister slash wife, Phoebe, was the Titan of intellect and prophecy. They lived on their small island together with their daughters, Leto and Asteria, who we've met before in prior episodes. On their island, they pursued many experiments and tests. They wanted not to rule the world around them, but to come to understand its very being. In their pursuits, they created a unique, magical tool that let them see the small world all around them, a tool they referred to as Microscopio. So engrossed were they with this discovery that they didn't heed the calls of their fellow Titans when Zeus began his war. When they were eventually captured by the arrogant Zeus, they tried to explain the need for their continued research. But Zeus found their desire for discovery and research and science antithetical to the beings of the gods, and they were cast out of our world into Tartarus. Their discovery, insights, research lost with them until many eons after Zeus himself was overthrown. When the magical microscope was rediscovered, it was put into the night sky by scientists as a remembrance to knowledge lost to war.
So look who won, Zeus. Look who won. You didn't play the long game. Titan of intellect and prophecy took you to town.
Okay, Jordan, you're up to Wax Poetic about Microscopium. Where did you go with this one?
So this is going back, Prometheus gives
Mm-hmm.
Pandora this box, right? And one of the things that happens when they open the box, they also find somehow that they have shrunk Mount Olympus and the
Mm.
gods. So by
Mm.
opening the box, they have Honey, I Shrunk the Gods. So so in my myth, the humans basically have to decide if they want to create a way to find the gods again. So
Mm-hmm.
they invent this device to eventually find their gods again, and somehow I think in my notes I had Zeus has to apologize to use it. So I hadn't
Mm.
really figured out exactly where the
Mm-hmm.
redemption was for them. Because I personally probably wouldn't bring them back. But my wax poetic is Pandora opens box, shrinks gods. Humans have to come up with a way to find the gods again. They do. The gods take it for granted. The end.
As always.
As
This
always.
I think this hits all the right notes. I think this is a great way to think about how and why it ended up in the night sky. I love Honey, I Shrunk the Greek gods. You know, we have like Miniature Wife, which I haven't seen, but it's like miniature gods. So it's back in. And I think that's very compelling. I mean, why else would humans want to ancient humans develop a microscope, find their gods? And the gods, of course, they'll take advantage of it but then instantly forget because they're fickle. That's their whole thing. So yeah, this is great. I love it.
I'd say both of us tried a lot harder than Delakai. So if he gets this podcast, we're disappointed. And he should be grateful that we're doing his work for him 300 years later. Send us a
Helping.
thank you or some cookies or something, Lakai.
Love cookies.
You think anybody else is referencing you, my guy?
Mm-mm. Not showing up in a lot of podcasts, I'll tell you that. And maybe that is a reason for our small but dedicated audience. Love you.
Love you so much.
Now it's time for our segment, Oracle AI, where we ask the Oracle to create a myth related to the constellation that we're covering. Our prompt asks the Oracle to create a short, modern, non problematic myth about the constellation Microscopium. Jordan, would you please voice the Oracle?
So saith the oracle. Long ago, the stars say that Microscopium was placed in the sky by a quiet sky artisan who wished to honor curiosity rather than power. The artisan shaped the tiny constellation like a humble instrument, believing that even the smallest tool could reveal great wonders if used with patience and care. Unlike the grand heroes and monsters nearby, Microscopium asked for no attention, shining softly as a reminder that understanding also and often comes from careful observation and gentle inquiry. On clear nights, it is said to glow a little brighter for those who look closely, rewarding those who value learning over spectacle. I have some thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. I do want to know about the sky artisan. Is
Yep,
the sky
that's my thought.
who who's the sky artisan? Is it Delakai? Like are all of the constellations made by the sky artisan?
Never knew, I never knew.
Yeah, it feels too like it's pointing out a contrast in this constellation, which I think we did as well, which is like you have all these heroes and monsters then just like a random microscope. So but now it's making it purposeful. So I like that part of the myth. I still wouldn't really say that there's like a myth. I mean, I guess the myth is the sky artisan. I would like to know more about gentle inquiry. I don't know what that means.
Well, it's kind of like the inquiry that no one catches you doing until hundreds of years later. So
I see, I
you're
see.
allowed to call it gentle at the time. That's my read. But I think we all worked together on this one. You came in with clear characters, clear concept, clear execution. I came in here with a concept and a title.
Mhm.
And the Oracle came in here with a why would
Mm.
there be a microscope in the sky?
Mm.
And those are all valuable ways of approaching Microscopium, both as an object, an empty mansion, and a constellation.
And if you come up with other Microscopium myths, if you want to wax poetic, feel free to send them our way. We'd love to read them.
Please do. And if you can tie this all together, us, the
Mm.
Oracle, I mean, I would love it, you know?
Mhm.
Seems like we all have like a third of a brain here. But it's up to you to be the quiet sky artisan who brings it all together. This brings us to the end of our episode this week. Join us next week for our pop culture segment of our exploration of the constellation Microscopium.
This has been Kit,
And Jordan.
sisters who love stars and stories,
And we'll see you next time.
on Starry Time.